Have you ever noticed how an onion has so many layers, or seen your mother's eyes water when she slices one? And a long, long time ago, seawater was sweet and drinkable. How it became salty? India's beloved storyteller, and yes, we are talking about Sudha Murthy, brings these timeless tales to life with her signature wit and simplicity. Adorned with delightful illustrations, these beautiful chapter books serve as perfect introduction to the world for young readers. Welcome to the Bookbibuli podcast, and we have Ahana with us today, who is going to tell these fascinating stories and explain why this happened. Hello, Ahana.
Namaste. My name is Ahana Sharma and I am a student at the Sri Ram School, Aravali. I love singing and reading, especially fiction. My favorite stories are usually folk tales, but I am also excited to explore other types. My current favorite author is Sudha Murthy. I love how she chooses the theme of her stories, which relates to our curiosity and has a message for us. Right now, I'm reading Harry Potter for the first time, and it is so fascinating. I love how the book is filled with magic mysteries and has such detailed description that it feels like the story come to life in my imagination. I can't wait to see where this magical adventure takes me.
Oh, wow, I love Harry Potter. It has the most amazing characters. But let us now talk of how the sea became salty. Tell us about the main characters in this story, and which character did you find the most interesting?
The story How the Sea Became Salty is a folk tale that explains the origin of the saltiness of the sea. The main character of the story are the kind brother Sridhar, the quiet brother Keshav, the main sister-in-law Leela, and the dwarfs. Sridhar is generous and kind and hardworking. Despite facing many hardships, he remains kind and helps those in need. His kindness ultimately rewards him with a magical fan. Keshav is good but weak man. He understood the pain his brother was going through, but he never had the courage to take a stand for him. Leela is evil and selfish. She never thought of anyone but herself. She always found ways of troubling Sridhar. In the end, her greed leads her in a disaster. The dwarfs are mysterious figures who help Sridhar for his kindness. They provide him with a magical fan and the instructions how to use it. In my view, the most interesting character in the story is Sridhar. He is kind, good to everyone. The most inspiring part here is how his kindness rewards him in the end. This shows the importance of good values.
How the sea became salty is rooted in folk tradition, and the cultural elements in the story blend beautifully. Did they enhance your understanding and enjoyment of the tale?
I really like the story How the Sea Became Salty by Sudha Murthy. It is such a fun and magical tale. I learned about different things from it which are really cool. For example, the story has a magic fan that can fulfill wishes. In many Indian stories, there are magical objects just like this. It is so exciting to imagine having something that can create whatever you want. Second, I never thought why the sea is salty before. This story gives me an interesting and a magical reason for it. Also, the story teaches us not to be greedy with something, which is something my parents and teachers will always tell me to. It's a good lesson passed through a fun story. All these things in the story make it more fun and help me understand a bit about Indian culture. It is like learning without even realizing it.
Tell us, Ahana, How does the plot unfold and how the sea became salty? Were there any twists or moments that surprised you?
Sridhar receives a magic fan from the dwarfs for his kindness and helping nature. Sridhar used that fan to start afresh in life with a new house and money. He was content and happy. He did not want more, but then Keshav and Leela, without caring, arrive at Sridhar's house. After knowing about this, they stole the magic fan without caring to understand the full instructions how to stop it. They board a ship and ask the fan to make some salt. And here comes the big surprise. The fan can't stop making salt. It just keeps going and going. All that salt ends up in the sea, and that's how the sea became salty. I was really surprised when the salt did not stop pouring and made the sea salty. I didn't expect that to happen. The twist that surprised me the most was how a magical thing that is supposed to help us ended up causing a worse problem. It is funny how the story explains why sea is salty in such a magical way. I really like how the author took something we see every day, like salty seawater, and made a fun story about how it got that way.
Well, we have just started bonding over books, and we would like to know what you think of the North Star program of Bookbibuli.
The North Star program by Bookbibuli is really interesting. It is a plan designed to make reading more fun and learning focus for young readers like me. It also helps in building confidence and developing interest in reading. Experts guide us in making the right reading choice for us based on our interest and liking. It helps young readers start their reading journey, grow it, and also continue it with many extra activities like reading sessions, recommendation, events, podcasts, etc.
Sudha Murthy is an amazing author who brings stories to life. And in How the Onion Got Its Layers, the plot unfolds in the same manner. What moral lesson do you think the author is trying to convey through the story?
When the childless king and queen prayed to the goddess in the forest, she blessed them with a beautiful daughter named Pina. But the goddess gave them a warning. Pina would have a deep desire to wear a new dress every day, and this wish must be fulfilled. But as time went by, the king and queen began to think this was a waste of money. They grew frustrated and decided to send Bina to the goddess to find a solution. Bina asked the goddess for help. The goddess gave her a blessing. Bina would receive a new dress every day, but there was a catch. Bina could not exchange these dresses with anyone, nor could she wear any other dress. One day she saw a girl wearing a simple sari and could not resist asking her to exchange their dresses. As soon as they swapped dresses, Bina was magically transported in the forest in front of the goddess. The goddess reminded Bina that she had not followed the instructions and now she must face a punishment. The punishment was that Bina would be sent away from the world of humans forever. Bina felt very sad and begged the goddess to turn her into something that would remind everyone of her and be useful to them. The goddess smiled and turned Bina into a plant, an onion. The different layers of the onion represents Bina's many dresses. And like when we cry when we cut an onion, the people of the kingdom cry whenever they remembered Bina. I think the story is about appreciating what we have. The story teaches us to value and cherish what we have instead of always wanting more. It's about understanding sometimes the beauty of a value of something lie because it exists. The story also reminds us to be content and grateful of the little things in life rather than always searching for something bigger and better.
Onion is a central symbol in the story, and the layers seem to represent something. We are wondering if you'll tell our readers what do they represent.
In the story, the onion represents different and new dresses that Bina wears. She was born with a deep desire to wear a new and a beautiful dress every day. To do so, she and her parents do everything possible, and then they realize that this desire is unnecessary and leads to a waste of money. The layer of the onion can be seen as a symbol of different emotions and desires that belong to a person. Just like how Bina kept wishing for the new dresses every day, people sometimes keep searching for more, thinking there's always something better or important hidden. But in doing so, they might miss out on the beauty of what they already have.
You've read other folk tales and fables. So, how would you compare the two stories that we are talking about today? How the sea became salty and how the onion got its layers. Some similarities, some differences, something that you've noted that made them stand out on their own.
Few of the similarities I noticed are that both the stories relate to our normal day's curiosity. They both try to tell us why things are the way they are. One tells us why the sea is salty, and the other tells why onion have its layers. It is like solving mysteries in a fun way. Also, they have magic. In how the sea became salty, there's a magic fan. And there are magical wishes in how the onion got its layers. Lastly, both the stories teach us a lesson. They have a moral message and they teach us important lessons of life without being boring. There are differences also. For example, I observed that both these stories have different settings. How the sea became salty takes place in an Indian village, and how the onion got its layers takes place in a kingdom with a story about a princess. Also, the two stories teach us different lessons. The sea story teaches us to be kind, whereas the onion story teaches us to be happy with what we have. Both stories sound really interesting. They make me curious about how things work and why they are the way they are. I love how folk tales can make ordinary things like salt, seawater, and onion seems magical and exciting.
Yes, I get it. You like both the books. I like them too. But would you recommend these books to others? After all, we are all different people who like different food, different drinks, and definitely different books as well. What type of reader do you think would enjoy this book the most?
Yes, I would definitely recommend these books to others. Her stories are very nice, simple, and have important life lessons. This make them enjoyable for everyone. These books have culture, traditions, and relate to everyday life. These stories come with moral lessons, making them not just fun but also good learning. The focus, they, they focus on values such as kindness and honesty. Along with this, the illustrations of these books are stunning and eye catching, which will definitely be appealing to many readers. I think these books are perfect for young readers who enjoy stories with moral and lessons. These books are interesting and often filled with magic and folk tales. Also, readers who are curious and interested in learning more about Indian culture and values will find her stories very enjoyable. In short, anyone like me who enjoys folk tales will love these books.
Thank you so much, Ahana, for being with us today. It has been a rocking day for us.
I would like to thank Bookbibuli to give me this opportunity to share my thoughts through this podcast about the books that I love. I will recommend all the young readers listening to this to explore these and other such folk tales by the author Sudha Murthy and enjoy the reading journey. Sudha Murthy, through her books, gives a very fun and a fresh perspective to our day to day curiosity along with the hint of a culture and tradition. I would once again like to thank Richa ma'am and Ashish sir and the team for this wonderful session.
Sridhar, an orphan, lived with his brother Keshav and his sister-in-law Leela. And Leela harbored a deep resentment towards Keshav. One day, as Keshav was sent into the forest to gather firewood, a heavy rainstorm began, and he made his way to a small cave. He discovered dwarfs dancing and singing around a fire. When the fire began to dwindle, Keshav used some of his firewood to keep it burning. Grateful for his generosity, the dwarfs gifted him. I won't tell you more, as you must read this book. And talking about the other story, in a kingdom without an heir, there goes. Sudha Murthy weaves a captivating micro tale filled with magic, prophecy, and the weight of misdeeds in this novel. Accompanied by heartwarming and beautiful illustrations, this enchanting story is ideal for a cozy evening with a cup of tea. So, the good idea would be to sit down with these two books, as I am not giving out any more spoilers, nor is Ahana, and we would like you to sit down and read this book. And now it's time for Bookbibuli Read Record. The vibrant illustrations against a plain white backdrop create a unique visual experience, while the straightforward language fostered an immediate connection. These books convey a powerful message. Envy leads one towards their own downfall. Murti breathes new life into tales of kings, queens, goddesses, and enchanted realms, infusing them with her personal touch. The lucid language too makes it a perfect read for young readers. The book is divided into several short chapters, which further make it an easy read for children. The books leading to this book are The Magic of the Lost Temple, Grandma's Bag of Stories, and The Magic Drum. And the apt successor would be The Serpent's Revenge by Sudha Murthy. Until next week, better read, read better.